It's GED question of the daytime, and we have a very typical GED style problem where we see like some text, like a word problem, and we see a bunch of information in a table or chart. GED loves this stuff. Okay, let's read the problem first. And I know it's like a little small. Let me pull it up here. The Johnsons want to purchase a ceiling fan for a 220 square foot room. Which fan size would be best for their needs? Okay, can I just recommend to you guys that whenever there's a table that you, before you try to find the information you're looking for, you just read the any headings that might be on the columns or rows. So we can see this particular table has some column headings. We have our fan size all the way on the left here, the first column, and then room size, and then room types. Okay, so we're looking for which fan size would be the best for our needs. So one of these fan sizes on this left-hand side in this furthest most left column is going to be our answer. But the question is which one? Well, what do we base the fan size on? We base it on the size of the room. Okay, so let's take a look. Our room is 220 square feet. Interestingly, though, instead of, even though my room size says square feet, they haven't done the math for me. And it says an 8 by 8, smaller than an 8 by 8, or here we have an 8 by 8 and a 10 by 12. They're talking about dimensions like 8 feet by 8 feet. If I am looking at it as square feet, I am looking at area. The only thing we measure in square units is area. Let me just, so this is a big clue to me that I'm looking at area. And the really nice thing is in some problems they try to trick you by using this times sign to mean by and not multiply. But in this problem, no, we really do need to multiply because the area of a rectangle or a square, because a square is a type of rectangle, it can be found by just multiplying the two dimensions together, the length and the width. So if I say this room is an 8 by 8, that means it's 8 times 8, or 64 square feet. Basically, you multiply feet by feet and you get square feet. Okay, so obviously this fan is going to be too small for me because this is for really tiny rooms, rooms that are smaller than 64 square feet. Now I need to find a fan that's going to work for a 220 square foot room. So let's keep going. So this particular fan size, the 32 inch by 42 inch, works for an 8 by 8 room, which we already learned was 64 square feet, up to a 10 by 12 room. So 10 by 12, 10 times 12. Take a 12, add a 0 to its backside, and you've multiplied by 10. And that's 120 square feet. That fan is still going to be too small for our purposes. We've got a bigger room. How about this fan size here? If I have a 10 by 10, that'd be 100 square feet. We see there's some overlap here in our fan sizes too. And a 14 by 14, you don't have to know how to do this in your head. You can bust out your TI 30XS calculator, your GED calculator, and multiply it out. But I happen to have that one memorized because it's one of my perfect squares. So 14 times 14 is 196 square feet. So I'm still too small, so it must be the last one. But let's just confirm. 12 times 12 is 144 square feet. So that size room, 20 times 20, well, 2 times 2 is 4. Add the zeros on the backside, and I get 400 square feet. And indeed, we can see that my 220 square foot room is between these two measurements. And so the size of the fan that I want must be the 58 inch to 72 inch fan. And if you're wondering how you should type the answer, the likelihood is if you had this exact problem on the GED, it would be multiple choice. So you wouldn't have to worry about like typing in the inch sign or do I spell out inches. It'd probably be a multiple choice problem. Okay, excellent. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments.